Right. It's a minute past. That's enough grace period, I guess. Good afternoon. Day 4, Ignite. How's it been treating you? Awesome. It's just about to get a lot better. Why? Because this session starts off a 4-part series on 4-session series through this afternoon and tomorrow morning on Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection specifically. How many of you have been to sessions on MTP this week? All right. We will touch base to some of that. But this one and then a few sessions following, we're going to focus on Office ATP. Before we move on, though, my name is Girish Chander. I'm the Group Program Manager for Office 365 Security. My partner in crime,
Jason Rogers. Hi, everybody. I'm a PM also on Office ATP, working for Girish.
Awesome. So our goal for today, for the next 45 minutes, is really around conveying to you how we think about Office 365 security all up, giving you a picture of how we believe customers ought to think about protecting their Office 365 estate more comprehensively, and then articulating why we firmly believe we are the best solution for protecting your estate in Office 365. And we'll give you some data to convince you as well. Right? With that said, let me start off right there, which is how we think about Office 365. Usually when we say Office 365 ATP, a lot of customers think, oh, this is about advanced threat protection, protecting from advanced email attacks. And that's great. It's certainly an important part of our solution space. But there's a lot more that goes into it. And we think about it the following ways. Secure posture. I cannot tell you the number of times I've had conversations with customers where we've come down to realizing that they have configurations, not just their security policy configurations, but they have some of their messaging configurations, for instance, that have come in between their goal of getting the best effectiveness to their actual experience around their effectiveness. The number of times I've seen IP allow lists or ETR rules that bypass a whole swath of protections of the ATP stack is just mind-boggling. We'll talk about a little bit through this section, and we'll forward reference to the session later this afternoon on what we're doing about it. Getting customers to a secure posture, giving them the right tools to be able to do that, has been a key focus for us these past few months, and will continue going forward as well. So that's one part. So you get your digital estate around Office 365 in a secure state. Secure Score helps with this. We have other tools in the works that will help with this. But then we had, of course, prevention and early detection. We've got to help you protect yourselves from advanced threats. Gone are the days where there were the boring flavor of threats. These threats are constantly evolving. They're highly sophisticated. We focus a lot, of course, on this spectrum this part of the spectrum in terms of protecting you from advanced threat, not just on email, but across Office 365. And we'll talk about that a little bit. And excited to share some updates here. And again, there's going to be more details that you'll get in the following session later this afternoon. And we'll forward reference that and point you to that later in the deck. I'm also excited about some of the cool 2 new things that we're actually announcing here. One is our compromise detection and our campaign analysis. There have been a couple of theater sessions on each of these topics. How many of you have had a chance to hit that? OK, a few of you. We'll point these sections out. And then tomorrow morning, I, along with a couple of my colleagues, have a session dedicated to compromise and campaign detection. 2 new things that we're very excited about. I put up a blog post on the compromise part of it earlier this week. Take a look at that. And we'll talk about this more tomorrow morning. So that's, of course, in kind of the pre-breach, early detection arena of things. What about post-breach? I'm not going to stand here and say our solution is 100% effective. Any vendor, by the way, who says that to you, they're lying. It doesn't work. Right? Breaches will come through. We've got to have an assume breach attitude, which means we need to arm your security teams with the capabilities and the tool sets to be able to protect themselves quickly, to investigate, to hunt, and remediate from issues very, very quickly. That's been a key focus area for us for the past couple of years. And it's all about giving them the right tools to investigate, to hunt, to respond immediately. And recently, this summer, we released our automation capabilities to really amplify our ability to detect and respond and remediate these issues automatically as part of the system, and then offer recommendations for other actions we believe security teams should take. Right? There's an entire section dedicated to automation and SecOps capabilities tomorrow morning. I will forward reference that as well. And then finally, awareness. Notice I didn't say simulation, I didn't say training, I said awareness, because we believe awareness encapsulates a whole bunch of things around training simulation, but also giving users the right awareness tips in their day-to-day functioning. Training and awareness is not a once-in-a-year thing. It is an ongoing thing. And the best way to do it is to give end users the right cues in the apps that they're using in an everyday manner. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, email, Outlook, et cetera. Right? And so we invest a lot in this, and we'll talk about some very unique capabilities we have in the stack to be able to offer that. This is the way we think about it. Looks good? Comprehensive view. ATP is not just about prevention, it's about securing your Office 365 estate. That's what we're about. Make sense? Yes? Perfect. Let me ground this against things that you've been hearing through the earlier part of this week, which is Microsoft Threat Protection. So Microsoft Threat Protection is an all-encompassing view of how we think about securing your digital estate all up, across your identities, your devices, your applications, your collaboration, your email, and then, of course, your infra as well. And where we fit in, of course, is in that email and collab pivot of things. And as much as I'm proud of the capabilities within Office 365 across the spectrum of things that I talked about in the previous slide, it gets even more amplified when these products can work together in an intersected way to offer you better amplified protection. So I'd encourage you to take a look at Microsoft Threat Protection and the sessions that we've had up till now at Ignite on this. And so I'm sure the recordings of it, you can take a look. But one of the key things I'm supremely proud of, you've heard this at the keynote as well, is that intelligent security graph. This graph powers not just our prevention and detection capabilities, but that intersected paradigm allows us to do very, very cool and innovative things from an experience standpoint in terms of response and post-breach detection, response remediation capabilities as well. So strongly encourage you to take a look at those sessions. But email and collab remains extremely important for the following reasons. If you take a look at the threat landscape, and this is a slightly old stat, but it still holds true, over 91% of attacks are still orchestrated over email. Right? And this is because largely attackers have come to recognize that the best way into an organization is through its people. Right? It's through social engineering attacks. And guess what? Actually, the movement to the cloud, the apps that we use day in and day out, LinkedIn, Twitter, everything else, these apps make it easy to discover details about the person, to be able to actually social engineer them a lot more easily. Right? That's what attackers are taking advantage of. And email, given the open protocol that it is, becomes a very, very easy way to target individuals. Right? And so the threat landscape is significantly increasing in terms of people using that pivot of email to target attackers over with phish attacks. Right? Just this year, since Jan, we've seen a 60% increase in phish attacks against Office 365 customers. Right? And so the attack pattern in its sophistication and frequency is only increasing. Right? And the cost of a breach is phenomenally high. Right? Business email compromise, the kind of attacks where you're actually targeting individuals very specifically. Gone are the days where it's a Nigerian prince scamming you for stuff that it's broadcast attacks. These are very, very specific targeted attacks that target individuals based on intel on that individual, typically the CEOs or the CFOs of firms, to try and get at valuable data. Right? And so taking a look at this landscape suggests that email and collab has to be a very, very important artifact to secure when you're thinking about your overall security strategy. But it's not just about that initial vector coming in. We're increasingly seeing that when attackers get into the organization, what are they trying to do? They're trying to get at data, or they're trying to cause damage. So they're trying to move laterally. They're trying to get at sensitive systems. They're trying to exfiltrate data. Right? This is called the kill chain of an attack. And as they go through that kill chain, typically, a few years ago when we used to talk about this, we used to talk about the attack kill chain in the context of a hybrid environment. Yeah, I might come in through email, I might come in through some other vector, but then I'd get onto the endpoint. And when I'm on the endpoint, I'll move laterally across systems on premises, and I'd get against a domain controller. And then I'll be able to get at sensitive data in some SharePoint server, be able to establish some permanence in the environment. There were a lot of usage of on-premises capabilities. With customers moving increasingly into the cloud, with data repositories being increasingly in the cloud, what's happening is we're seeing a lot of these latter stage attack patterns of the kill chain being orchestrated almost entirely in the cloud, right? Which means you have to start thinking about protecting your cloud, protecting Office 365 in ways that are not just about protecting that initial vector, it's about protecting across the kill chain, right? That's what we focus on in Office 365 ATP as well, right? And we're very proud of the capabilities we have in this context, right? Some of this is, of course, grounded on the fact that we have phenomenal scale, not just across Microsoft, but even within Office 365 to play with. Take a look at, earlier this week, I don't think it fixed the auto move, I think. Earlier, this is going to keep doing it because I think it's got an auto move on the slide. So my apologies as I keep going back. Damn it. Can you fix that while I talk to this slide? OK, so earlier this year, we talked about this week, we talked about how we process on average about 470 billion emails every single month. Just this year in 2019, we've processed about 4.7 trillion. That's a lot of data where you're analyzing emails. We do about 20 billion detonations a month, right? That's a phenomenal amount of data that we can then leverage to actually arm our protections. You slap, with that amount of data, you slap ML capabilities on it, magic happens from a protection standpoint, right? Does that work?
Yeah, it's still doing it.
I think it's slide 7, actually, that we want. Sorry, guys. Apologies. That's the one. OK, I think we're good. We hope we're good. And we're back. Excellent. So we talked a lot about the protection staff. I talked about our scale. I talked about a protection scale. One thing I didn't talk about is, as I said earlier this summer, we released automation capabilities. Ever since that automation has gone out, we've actually seen a 4 times increase in the number of investigations that SecOps teams have been able to do with the toolkits that we've provided. And as exciting as that is, I'm more interested in that next stat. What this means is now security teams, the next stat is a 10 times increase in the number of remediations, successful remediations that have been done through our system, through the automation toolkit. What that means is we've now armed security teams to take a look at a lot more set of things with the automation power that they have in their hands to be able to successfully remediate issues that they see. This could be as a result of our own signals alerting them. It could be as a result of things that they've initiated because of intel coming from other sources. But the automation capabilities in there has meant that we protected not just the initial vector, we protected the kill chain through that detection investigation arc by mitigating that with the steps taken here. And that's super powerful. Does that make sense? Yes? Excellent. OK. One of the things we feel very proud of as we kind of think about this full arc of value, full arc of protecting customers across the different pivots I talked about, is how much value we're adding at a phenomenal pace. This is something we feel increasingly proud of, right? When we started in 2015, we were largely focused on SafeLink Safe Attachments, which was a malware-focused and a little bit of phish-focused efforts. But then we really amped up our focus in late 2017, early 2018 on phish as a pivot. And I'm really proud of how much best-in-class protection capabilities in terms of prevention and early detection we've added across these years. And as you see that arc going up, it's not just going up in terms of the y-axis here is active users we're protecting. It's not just growing in terms of the business and the protection value we're offering. It's growing in terms of actual value, core value we're offering in the product. That's phenomenal. To pair with that, remember I talked about this paradigm where we are protecting customers in ways that doesn't compromise productivity. It's like allowing end users to be productive, but yet secure by giving them the right cues in the tools that they operate on, right? I'll give you a good example of this. Native link rendering, which is you will see on the 2018, just go up, follow 2018 2 bullets up. This is a capability where if you're using an Outlook client, if you're using OVA, how many of you are familiar with safe links protection? OK, fair amount of you. Excellent, most of you. So you know how when we protect, when we offer safe links as value, the links get wrapped, right? Which means if I send you an email with CNN.com, it's actually going to be wrapped. It's going to be rewritten. And so it doesn't look like CNN.com when you hover over it. And what's the first thing you train users to do when they get an email with a link? Hover over it, figure out where it's going. And so we had a lot of customers come and tell us, but I can't figure this out now that you've wrapped it, right? So what we said was, OK, we've got to fix this problem. We need to give you the capabilities of link rewriting and wrapping because we have to protect you. We've got to do so in ways that allows users to be more secure, more productive. And so we worked with the Outlook team, and we said, look, let's establish a protocol. So now, even though the link is wrapped, even though we're offering that protection, when users hover over it, they will actually see the original link. This is something that only we as Microsoft can do. Any other vendor offering a rewrite capability is not able to do this. Right? This is, again, grounded on that principle that we want to do stuff without compromising productivity, but we want to improve security, improve awareness, improve training for users. And finally, we want to amplify the effectiveness and the efficiency of your security teams. Right? We want them to be able to investigate, to hunt, to remediate issues way faster. Right? This is the area of focus for us. All of these things that I've actually used the green arrow bulleting style are unique capabilities in Office 365 ATP relative to any other solution. In fact, if you walk by the booth, there is a nifty data sheet that we prepared that actually has a version of this where we'll actually call out the capabilities across the different pivots we have and call out where we are actually truly unique across the industry. It may be unique because no one else offers this, or it may be unique in the way we actually offer it because of our ability innately to integrate into Office 365, or it may be unique because it's just so easy relative to what others can do in being able to do this. Or it may be because it is just more secure to do it this way. We've seen cases where customers, in order to actually do, for example, training and simulation attacks, have had to open up holes in their protection logic. This is based on guidance from the vendors who offer this. And the guidance is fine, except in the way it's executed, people actually set it up in ways where they don't actually check the authenticity of the domains that they're opening up holes for. And that results in issues targeting their environment wholly. And so we have ways whereby our attack simulation capabilities, for example, can actually inject emails directly into the system. These are all unique capabilities in our system. Does that make sense? Yes? Thumbs up? Excellent. OK, so it's no wonder then that we protect more Office 365 mailboxes with Office ATP than all of our competitors combined. Right? I mean, you pair the scale I talked about. You pair our comprehensive view into how we protect customers. You bring into it our ML capabilities. You bring into it our unique value prop that I showed in the previous slide. You then bring into it that increasing innovation pace that we have. It's no wonder, right? Not only that, we protect 3 times more users, 3 times more than our closest competitor. Right? We feel very, very proud of this. And while I feel proud of the numbers in terms of the business standpoint, I feel proud of the value customers are getting. And that pride is actually grounded on this next statement. It's not just about the business doing awesome. It's not just about the protection being great. It is about our core effectiveness that we're offering being the best in the industry. Well, you're probably looking at me skeptically and saying, hey, Girish, every vendor claims they're the best in the industry. Sure, I'm sure they do. But we're right. Don't take my word for it, though. We can prove it to you. And to do that, The smarter version of us is going to actually walk through how we can prove this to you. Go ahead, Jason.
Thanks, Girish. So Girish is absolutely right. Every vendor or most vendors that you talk to are going to say this exact same thing to you. But we've spent years collecting data, and we've got a methodology that we stand behind that leads us to believe that in our case, this absolutely is fact. So let me share that methodology with you. The advantage that we have as Microsoft, as Office 365, is hosting your mailbox. The advantage that we have is that we see all the mail that is filtered by every competitor in front of us. So your MX record points to a third-party filtering service. That's public information, so we can see that mails from that domain are pointing to that service. Their connecting infrastructure that's delivering to Office 365 is coming from that service. So for every mail that comes into our service, we know that that mail had been previously filtered by a specific vendor. And we track about a dozen of them. And so we can not only tell exactly how much mail is coming through, but we can also tell whether or not that mail was malicious. Because if we caught it in Office 365, or if we determined that it was a missed post delivery in Office 365, we know that that mail had been filtered previously by the competitor, and we know that, that they didn't catch it. This is what the data yields. Now, orient yourself to this graph for a second. What this shows is miss rate. So this is the number of emails that are being missed by each vendor, normalized by their total mail volume. So think of it as number of phish mails, number of malware mails coming into your environment, divided by the total number of messages coming into your environment. So the question that I get, inevitably at this point, I've had this discussion a couple of times, is who's my vendor? Now, I had a lot of conversations with our lawyers before coming to Ignite. There was a lot of negotiation, and I lost, which is why you see vendor A, B, C, D, E, F. But what I did do is I put the volume of total mail that each vendor represents underneath that vendor. So what I can tell you is if you're outside the US, you're probably, and you've got a third party in front of us, that's probably who you're using. And if you're inside the US, that's probably who you're using.
Hey, Jason, just to orient everyone, because it's miss rates, the higher you are on the graph, the worse it is.
Think of it like golf. So yeah, so you absolutely want to be low. Now, one of the reasons that I personally believe this data, not only am I close to the methodology, but I've also seen the data change gradually over time. As we've rolled out all of the tech that Girish described, I've seen these numbers slowly shift. So I went back and I dug through decks, and I actually found a slide that shows what this looked like in 2017. And this is what it was. So in this case, remember, once again, to Girish's point, the higher the bar, the worse you are. In this case, back in 2017, using this same measurement, we were in fact worse than the blue in this case is if you're North America, and the green is if you're outside North America. Those are the same two vendors. And so there's been this steady shift over time, and a lot of it is the innovation that Girish spoke of. But a lot of it is also just the scale that we've had to work with. We have so much signal, 470 billion emails a day, 20 billion detonations so far this year. I'm sorry, 470 billion a month. And so we've got that huge corpus of data to reason over, and we've got the AI to do it, which is why we're able to achieve this sort of result. Now this is our full filtering stack. And we've kind of broken it up into edge protection, center intelligence, content filtering, and then post-delivery protection. So edge protection is really about understanding the sending infrastructure. So what IPs is it coming from? What's the domain that it's coming from? We're able to block a whole bunch of mail just by virtue of the the people that are sending it to us and what we know about the person that it's being sent to. We take that even further with sender intelligence to look at the specific sender itself. So this is all about spoof detection and impersonation detection, both user impersonation and domain impersonation. And then our content filtering stack is really getting into the meat of the mail. So is there anything about the body of the mail, the URLs contained in the mail, anything that we can derive about the attachments that lead us to believe that this message is malicious. And then of course our post-delivery protection are things that we can do even after the mail's been delivered. So safe links protection inside of the client natively itself that's opening the attachment that shows up here. Our ability to reach into the mailbox through zero-hour auto purge and pull malicious mails out. Our time of click protection to protect URLs inside of emails, even a year after the mail's been delivered. Now, evaluations are tricky. And what I want to do over these next few slides is I want to arm you guys with the ability to basically generate the data that I showed you for all of Office 365 for your tenant specifically. So you can prove to yourselves that for your tenant, for your email, for your users, you're going to see that effectiveness improvement as well with Office 365 ATP. Now the problem with evaluation is that if you don't have a real sender and you don't have a real recipient, you're not going to exercise a large portion of the stack. So the red boxes show you the things that require an actual sender in order to work correctly. The blue boxes show you the things that require a recipient in order to work correctly. So without a real recipient interacting with that mail, these pieces of technology aren't necessarily going to work during your evaluation. So it's very hard to structure an evaluation that's going to really exercise the full stack. And the problem is, you'll do an evaluation, it'll yield results that'll point you towards one vendor, but then when you get into your real production environment with your real mail flow, with your real senders, with your real recipients, interacting in a real way with those emails, you're not going to get the protection that you thought you were going to get. We see that over and over again after we'll have a failed evaluation, and then we'll go in and start looking at real mail flow, real production data. One of the most common things that some of our competitors do to try to evaluate their solutions against Office 365 is a journaling-based evaluation. They'll tell you to journal all of your mail over to their system. They'll rescan it, and they'll tell you what Office 365 missed. There are a bunch of different variations of this, but journaling is probably the most popular. Sometimes it'll be give us a PST of your mail. Sometimes it'll be give us access to your mailboxes and we'll pluck mail out. They all essentially have the same problem. With a journaling-based evaluation, journaling is really, it's an archiving mechanism. And so the mail gets filtered out to journal, gets sent on its journaling route ahead of large portions of the stack. So depending on how you have your specific policies configured, these filters are not going to get exercised in a journaling evaluation. These filters, no matter how you have your policies configured, are definitely not going to get exercised during your evaluation if you're using journaling. So, using things like honeypots, doing specific targeted pen testing against our filters, bifurcation tests. I told you about PST rescans, journaling, and then targeted synthetics are not going to give you an accurate picture of how our product is going to perform on your real mail flow. Got to use real users, and you've got to use real mail flow. But it's hard. We know it's hard. I've talked to a bunch of you over the last few years. I understand the trials and tribulations of trying to evaluate this. So we've built an evaluation feature to help do it for you, right in product. So this is what your production mailflow pipeline typically looks like if you've got a third party. Most third-party filters will tell you to turn off as much of Office ATP as you possibly can. So really, in effect, what you get is your mail filtered by your third-party filter, you get our edge protection, and then you've turned off most of the rest of our stack, so you're not getting benefit of that stack. Messages go to your inbox. Now, we know that you've got a change management process. We know that you don't want to monkey with your production environment before you're 100% convinced that we're going to give you the value that we've promised you. And so we've created this evaluation solution where you can have your mail bifurcated from the edge. We'll actually get the original connecting IP information. So we'll learn about the original sending infrastructure, not the infrastructure of your third-party filter. And then we'll also unwrap the URLs. If you're using a solution that has time-of-click protection, that has URL wrapping, we'll unwrap those URLs. We'll funnel all that mail over to a completely parallel pipeline. A parallel pipeline that's in no way related to what's going on in your production environment, and we'll run it through our full set of filters. We'll do all ATP detonations, we'll detonate the URLs, and then we'll give you an evaluation report that shows you message by message, here are the things that we caught that were missed by your third-party filter. And we know that there's going to be all sorts of strange configurations where this maybe doesn't work, or you've got additional content that you want to send to us. So we've also given you an evaluation mailbox as part of this, where you can send anything to us, and we'll run it through the full stack and add it to that report. So this gives you a way to really see what our service can do without potentially impacting your real mail flow. Now let me show you what this looks like. The setup couldn't be easier. This probably is not quite in your production environment yet, but it will be shortly. So there's just a policy for ATP evaluations. It's a very simple 4-step wizard. We do request that you get trial licenses before you do this, just to light up ATP. And then you just tell us, what is it that you're trying to do? How are you configured? Do you have a third party in front of us? Are you trying to test us against some on-premise filtering? Let us know what your routing looks like. Let us know which connector you're using, who your third-party filter is, so we can get back to those original connecting IPs. We actually let you set up domain and user impersonation against those kind of high target users within your organization, and that's it. You're good to go. And we'll present you with a report like this that shows you exactly what it is that we caught through that evaluation pipeline with the specific messages themselves, so you can go off and do further investigation and find out exactly why we caught and your third-party filter missed. So let me pivot now and give you a pretty quick run-through of what we've been up to over the last 6 months, what's going to be coming out soon. And really, I'm going to point you to the other sessions that Girish mentioned, where you can really deep dive on what these new features mean. The first thing that actually happened wasn't feature related at all, but it is really exciting. Back in February, we switched our old skewing model. So if you remember, we used to have Office ATP, and then we had a TI SKU, and you had to buy them separately. Now we've moved to this nested model of Exchange Online Protection you get with every O365 mailbox. We've got ATP Plan 1, and that contains everything that used to be ATP, so all of our prevention technologies. Now that's nested inside of ATP Plan 2 that not only includes all those prevention technologies, but also all of our automatic investigation remediation, Threat Explorer, all of our advanced attack simulator, that whole group of kind of investigation, hunting, and automatic response products. So, as Girish was mentioning earlier, we're really doubling down on trying to get configurations fixed. We see 25% of the mail that ends up in mailboxes that's malicious was allowed there. We had a bad verdict on it, and it ended up in the inbox anyway because it was allowed in some way. So part of what we're doing is providing an analyzer that goes through your policies and makes recommendations to you about where you've drifted from what we consider to be best practice policies. And while we were doing this, we thought, if we know what best practice policies are, why don't we just give them a way to set up best practice policies? So we've done that as well. We give you two options. One is a standard kind of policy template, and one are more strict policy templates. If you want to do more aggressive blocking in your organization. And so you can select these and set up all of your policies, your security policies for your organization. We'll just do it for you in one click. And then as new features roll out, we'll automatically configure them to match the same profile that you have chosen here. So effectively, we'll manage your policies going forward. Nothing left for you to do if you want to choose. You can, of course, also tweak policies behind this. But this is really great to make sure that you're absolutely adhering to our best practices. Now here's some of those features where we're doing deeper integration across the productivity staff, really bringing our protection to the user. We've expanded SafeLinks into Teams. This is super exciting. So if I send a URL to you in Teams, you get the exact same time of click protection from Teams that you do inside of email. We've also taken what we did in Word, PowerPoint, Excel on the desktop clients, and we've moved it to the cloud clients as well. So if you're using Word online, now you automatically natively get SafeLinks protection right in Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. We took that same API logic that we use for Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, and we put it in Outlook as well. And the reason that this is great is because if Outlook turns something into a link that we didn't know was a link at delivery time, and it doesn't get wrapped, we'll still do the SafeLinks check on it. If you take a message and you add it as an attachment to another message, and so the links inside don't get wrapped, we'll still go check them when they're clicked. You know, URL in the subject, like anything that you can think of to not have that URL be wrapped, irrelevant now. And so this is going to be rolling out here shortly as well. We have a new technology that we're partnering with the Windows team on. I don't know if you've heard of AppGuard. It was out for Explorer, so it basically runs Explorer inside of a container. So if something malicious happens inside of Explorer, it's contained in that container. It doesn't get access to your OS. So we've done the exact same thing for Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. So now you can open up a document inside of this container. You're guaranteed to be safe. Now the problem is, what happens if I want to do something outside of the container? And so we've integrated what we learn across MTP, so from MD ATP, from Office ATP detonations, all of our reputation, and we let the user know at the time they request to exit that container whether we believe that that document is safe or not. And that's whether it came through email, whether it was handed to them on a pen drive, doesn't matter. And within the SafeLinks world, we've heard a lot that you guys like us to do more at delivery time and less post-delivery. And so we've slowly been ramping up, doing more and more and more detonation of URLs at the time of delivery to try to keep more and more and more out of the inbox. One thing that we haven't been able to do, it's always been asynchronous, so we'll run off and detonate while the mail is still being delivered. We're now giving you the option to hold that mail back, just like you would for safe attachments, and wait for us to complete the URL detonation. Not sure where I'm getting feedback from. We've finally improved mailbox intelligence to do very specific impersonation for every user within your organization. So right now you've got user impersonation, you define it for highly targeted users within your organization. We can do that exact same thing automatically for each user in your organization. So because we know what their communication graph looks like, we know if they're getting a mail from somebody that is in that communications graph but not from an address that's owned by that person. Okay, so moving on to reporting. We've done a lot within the Threat Explorer environment. We've added URL clicks and URLs, integrated them in, and also in our trending reports, we've made a bunch of improvements to the threat protection status report, including giving you insights to help you interpret what you're seeing inside of those reports. And finally, we know that you're always going to have some reporting need that we're not going to supply to you. Like, there's always going to be something that you really want to do that we can't provide out of the box, because we can't provide hundreds of thousands of reports out of the box. So we're rolling out Power BI integration. So you can build exactly the custom report or custom dashboard that you need for your particular business need. One of the other kind of detection hunting experiences that's coming out is our campaign analysis feature. So, you know, we can tell you that a mail is bad, but it's so much more powerful if we can tell you the context around which it is bad. Is it part of a broader campaign that's impacting my organization? Is it just targeted at a few people? We can tell you what the details of that sending infrastructure, where the IPs, that full set of mails that are part of that campaign are coming from, what domains, and then more importantly, what action did we take as a system, and what action did you take as an admin, and what actions did your users take on those mails? So you can really easily drill down into, is this a campaign that I really need to go chase, or is it something that's largely already been mitigated? All of our threat investigation response features have been updated really to be automated now. So we've always given you sets of actions that you can take as an admin, and we've seen a huge productivity improvement across SecOps teams because of this. So being able to lump a bunch of email into a campaign similar to what we're doing for you now automatically, you know, make it an incident, take remediation on those mails quickly. That's something that we've provided you, and we've expanded the number of actions that are available for you to take as an admin. But then we've also automated it. So we'll automatically do all that investigation for you. We'll come up with a set of responses that we recommend and offer you a list of what those are, and click one button, and we'll go ahead and take that action. So we're going to see dramatic improvements in the impact that your security operations team can apply. So we're also giving you timeline views now. So for an individual mail, we can show you everything that's happened to that mail. So what happened in our system, what you did to the mail, and what your users did to the mail. So you can really understand all the different pieces and stitch together the timeline of everything that happened to the mail and the content of the mail, the URLs contained inside of the mail. And finally, we know that as part of hunting, your SecOps team usually needs to get to the content. They need to get to the headers of the mail. We don't want them to have to go someplace else to do that. So we've taken that and embedded it right into Threat Explorer so they can easily access the original mail and the header without going back to the user to get a copy. Now we know that, what was it, 60% rise in phishing emails and a 300% rise in those mails targeting identity. So compromise is a problem. Those phishing mails are going after one thing, and that's your user's credentials, and when they get them, they start to do lateral movement. And so we've got a new set of tools to detect compromise and then respond quickly, not only to isolate that user by doing password resets and MFA, conditional access, but also let you know what the impact of that compromise was. So did they send a bunch of mail out to your organization? We'll automatically give you the option to delete those mails that were sent out. Did they exfiltrate any HBI content from your organization or forward any mail outside of your organization? So that investigation would typically take days. We'll do it for you in minutes and give you a list of response options, and all you have to do is say yes, take them. So I'm going to hand back to Girish now, the few minutes we have left to take us home.
All right. I want to just close with some key takeaways that I want you to leave with. One, it's the notion that Office 365 ATP, when you think about it, it's not just one of a prevention play. It's about trying to secure your estate across the value prop that I talked about. What Jason just closed with, which is the campaign analysis and the compromised user detection, these should kind of hit home when we say that these attacks are not just about, oh, I just need to send someone a phish mail and hope they click the link. it's from an attacker's perspective an initial vector in, so they can actually go take over your Office 365 or at least get to interesting repositories within it. So you got to be thinking about the full kill chain, and that's what we're focused on, right? The second thing is I want you to leave with is how we think about this amplification of protection from our side across the stack is in terms of these awesome features that are highly differentiated. But they're also in terms of how we make your security teams more effective. Config. Beware that 25% number, and I'm being kind. I've actually seen cases in some customers where we've seen up to a 40 to 45% difference in what we give them as effectiveness and what they're experiencing because they've instructed us through bypasses of various means to say, you know what, just skip this email. There was one customer we were working with a year ago this was an educational institution, and they had actually opened up broad swaths of their Gmail addresses because the users were coming from Gmail, and they just said, you know what, skip ATP filtering for all of these, right? This is where the product, across the things that Jason just talked about, this is where the product can help saying, hey, give you insights around this is impacting you, this is the difference we see, give you analyzers that help you assess your environment, and that's what we're looking to do. You'll hear more about this. If you notice in Jason's slides, he had QR codes pointing you to various sessions. You'll hear more about this one in a session later this afternoon. And then finally, a lot of you are going to be skeptical around our claims on effectiveness. Go try it out for yourself. We welcome this, right? We are so confident. The reason Jason showed you the before image from late 2017 was basically to tell you, look, we haven't changed our methodology. Trust me, as motivated as we are to convince you that we're good, we're motivated to actually feel good about our protection, right? We want to make sure that we're assessing ourselves right. So we started this way before we were as good as we are right now. Back in 2017, we were not as good. We admit it. But now we are the best in the industry. You can see the scale of difference in effectiveness in that chart. But we want you to be able to try it and experience it for yourself. Our only request is do it right. Don't fall for the FUD around, hey, let's do a journaling-based evaluation. Let's do a side-by-side evaluation that's based on synthetic traffic. It does not work. Got to do it based on real traffic for all the reasons Jason talked about. And you've got to do it in ways that actually test out our entire stack. Do an apples-to-apples comparison. You can now with the evaluation methodology that we're focused on. So you want to put us to the test, you're welcome. Please, please do so, but do so in the right manner. And I'll leave you then finally with the list of sessions that we're going to use more. A couple of the theater sessions have happened already, but the rest of it, 2104 is happening later today, and the first two are happening tomorrow morning. You'll find them on your agenda. With that, I believe we kind of brought it home just about in time. We'll open up for questions. We'll be here. Find us at the booths, whatever works. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, everybody.